Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Monday. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk Studios this morning. Thanks for making us a part of your start. Hopefully you had a great weekend, whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online at our website, sportstalk1051.com, WYYradio.com. You got the app, download it, take it on the go, your smart devices, smart speakers like your Alexa devices, and, of course, the video stream up and rolling, Man Cave TV on YouTube. Don't forget to click that bell, that subscribe, follow button over there. But, again, hopefully you had an awesome weekend, and you're ready to hit up not only a brand-new work week, but a brand-new month, June 1st. What do we have on the docket for us here this morning? Lots of Brewers talk here as the Brewers take another series, this time against the Houston Astros, winning 2 out of 3. Their win on Friday in extra innings, falling on Saturday. And then the Miz Kid does it again yesterday. Fantastic outing for Jacob Mizorowski to help lead the Brewers to a 2-0 victory. Brewers taking 2 out of 3 to win another series, and just a fantastic month of May. I mean, just absolutely. You look at, you look at what they did in the month of May here. They open it up by taking 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. They split the 2-game series against the Cardinals. They swept the Yankees. They take 2 out of 3 against the Padres, nearly sweeping them. They take 2 out of 3 against the Twins. They sweep the Cubs. They fall the Dodgers, sweep the Cardinals, and take 2 out of 3 against the Astros. So really the only hiccup was that Dodger series, winning just 1 out of 3 in that one. But overall, I don't think we could complain too much about the month of May here for the Brewers. And they increase their division lead as they open up the month of June, 4.5 games over the Cardinals, 5 games ahead of the Pirates and the Cubbies, 6 games ahead of the Reds. But every single team still in the National League Central above 500 as we enter a brand new month for this summer. So we'll talk, again, plenty of Brewers here. We got to talk more about Jacob Mizorowski. If it wasn't for Christopher Sanchez, that we might be talking more about this historic, epic month from Jacob Mizorowski. Oh, well, we'll still talk about it. I guess I'm kind of referring to maybe from a national perspective. But, man, .23 ERA for Jacob Mizorowski, 5-0, just giving up 1 earned run over the entire month of May. But wow. So we'll talk plenty of baseball. Speaking of which, we got to give a shout out to UW Milwaukee baseball. So they're winning their first couple games. They did fall late last night, early this morning, I should say. Technically, it was after midnight. So in a rematch against Auburn, they did fall 8-1, but they're back at it tonight at 5 o'clock in a win in advance or lose and go home situation. So we got to give an acknowledgement to UW Milwaukee for baseball too. So that just it popped up in there, and I'm like, oh, I got to mention that too. So it's been kind of fun to follow a little UW Milwaukee baseball too. But so yeah, plenty of baseball chats coming your way here this morning. So we'll throw that in there. We got some finals set for both the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals. So the Spurs taking Game 7 against the Thunder this past weekend, which means we've got Knicks versus Spurs in a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals. That first game is going to be on Wednesday as the Knicks will visit the Spurs. And then for the Stanley Cup Finals. We've got Game 1 in action tomorrow. The Golden Knights taking on the Hurricanes. So we're starting to wrap up those two seasons. So, we'll throw a little bit of that in there. We are going to kick off today, since it is June 1st. All right, every day up until July 3rd. Every day up until July 3rd, 10. All right, 10 USA America sports moments. Well, it'll equal 250. The top 250 American sports moments in honor of Team USA, Team America's birthday coming up next month. Planned it out. So each weekday, if we do 10, it'll conclude on July 3rd. So I've got my first 10. Now, I'm not ranking them because that might be a little too difficult to do, and I don't want to upset too many people. I'm sure I'll upset some people for not having so-and-so or this and 250. But it's a combination of athletes, games, moments, that sort of thing. And I'll just I think it's best to probably kick it off today, kind of looking at, the leagues, right? Some of the leagues, some of the organizations, or non-leagues, we'll say, some of the leagues that got their starts in America. So top 10 coming your way, or I should say top 10, the first 10 coming your way here. And we're going to do 10 each weekday up until July 3rd. So that's coming up a little bit later on. Speaking of a little bit later on, we'll catch up with the Eau Claire Express for our Express chat that we'll be doing every Monday. Pete Knutson will be joining the program just shortly after 9 o'clock. The Express picking up a victory yesterday against Thunder Bay at Carson Park, 4-0 victory for the Express. They'll be back at it tonight, taking on Thunder Bay, then a quick trip to Madison, and then they'll be back on Wednesday, taking on Madison, then another quick road trip. I should say not necessarily quick, but 6 games on the road, and then they'll be back home middle part of next week. But one game at a time, right? So we got Thunder Bay at home at Carson Park tonight. It is a VFW Post 305 best and worst of the weekend. So what was the best? What was the worst from the weekend for you? Also, we'll do some Glory Days brought to you by Summer Jam in Eau Claire and that. And don't forget now, too, we're at that time of the year. If you want to do kind of a Weekend Warrior shout-outs, we're looking at let's take away from like high school and college. We want to highlight some of the rec sports or some of the youth sports. If you had a good weekend or a fun weekend, you want to do a little Weekend Warrior shout-out, send those on over too. All right, text it on over to that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912, or you could join in on the Section 105 chat. So that's kind of your game plan for us this morning. So that's where we're at, and whatever else we kind of sometimes get off topic and get on a little bit of a tangent. We'll see where that leads us and such. So, but let's get things going here. We'll begin it with the leadoff, talking some baseball with the Brewers taking 2 out of 3 against the Astros. We'll recap that series and look ahead to a 4-game series starting tonight with the Brewers taking on the Giants. We're going to talk about Jacob Mizorowski. Has the clock hit midnight on Brandon Sproat? Pat Murphy, kind of some comments about Brandon Sproat here that doesn't necessarily bode well for maybe him right now in the immediate future and that. And then you kind of look at the starting pitching probables, kind of gives maybe a little bit of a hint of where this is going to be going, or maybe just a big unknown at this point too. But we'll talk plenty of baseball, and then Jacob Mizorowski, man, oh man, I say it every time, or I've said it every time after the month of May, or after every game he has started and won or played in the month of May. Running out of things, running out of words, running out of phrases to describe what we're seeing from the Miz kid. So, but we'll try our best to kind of come up with some new stuff, if you will. But all right, let's get things going here this morning. We'll talk some baseball. We'll talk some Brewers baseball to open it up, recapping another series win and looking ahead to a new month with a 4-game series against the Giants starting tonight. We'll be right back, and then we'll get things going on the leadoff coming up after these quick words. Summer is here, and that means it's time to get outdoors, to make some memories, and to be ready for whatever the season brings. That's where Tilden Gun comes in. Whether you are gearing up for target practice, heading to the range, or preparing for your next outdoor adventure, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to help get you set up right. From firearms and ammunition to accessories and safety gear, they got everything that you need, all backed by a knowledgeable service that you can trust. At Tilden Gun, it's not just about what you buy, it's about making sure that you feel confident, informed, and ready every single time that you head on out. So this summer, don't just enjoy the outdoors. Be prepared for it. Stop by Tilden Gun today and see why they are a trusted name for shooters and outdoor enthusiasts alike. All right, let's get things going here on the leadoff. Let's recap a pretty solid weekend for the Brew Crew. Going back to Friday nights in their win against the Houston Astros. Took extra innings, but the Brew Crew were able to get it done in the 10th. Coleman Crow getting the start for the Brewers in this game. He ended up going 4 innings. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, including a dinger. Only striking out 1, did issue a couple of walks. But after that, the bullpen kind of locking things down, not allowing a earned run. Should note Coleman Crow, 4 runs, but 2 of them earned. But after that, bullpen getting it done and just kind of hanging around a little bit for the Brewers offense. You had David Hamilton picking up his first home run of the season, and then Jackson Churio picking up a home run. But Brewers ship it away, and they were able to get that go-ahead run across in the top of the 10th, a little bit of yelly speed there, and holding on to victory. Trevor McGill picking up his 7th save on the season. Kind of feels like maybe Uribe McGill have, at least as of late, maybe flip-flopped. It was Trevor McGill as the closer, then he was struggling a little bit, then it was Uribe, and now it maybe feels like it's back to Trevor McGill, but he picked up his 7th save. Uribe gets credited with the win. And then we're going to talk more about this Saturday game here in just a little bit, but a 9-2 victory for the Astros, even after the Brewers jumped out to a 1-0 lead thanks to a Contreras RBI double. But Brandon Sproat picking up the loss, his 4th loss of the season. He went 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. No walks, but 4 Ks in the contest. And the Brewers just not able to really get anything going. Just 6 total hits for the crew. The Astros putting up 9 with 12 hits. 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th, and 3 in the 8th. So, but yesterday in the final start for the month of May for Jacob Misiorowski, we've talked a lot about his month of May in that, and what did we have in store, or what were we going to get in store from Jacob Misiorowski? And, well, it was maybe, dare I say, typical Jacob Misiorowski at this point. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks. Picking up his 6th win of the season to improve to 6-2. Lowering that ERA to a 1.65 on the season. Uribe getting the hold, and Trevor McGill getting his 8th save on the season. Jacob Misiorowski, again, ending the month of May in 6 games, 5-0 with a .23 ERA, 57 strikeouts, no home runs. Just, again, that 1 earned run, only 6 walks issued as well. If it wasn't for Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies and him not allowing a single earned run in the month of May, Jacob Misiorowski would probably be getting a little bit more of the national attention and talk. But nonetheless, still an amazing, a fantastic, an insane month of May. And the thing is, too, He never went over 100 pitches this month, even like 7 innings. Yesterday, 88 pitches. 7 innings against the Cardinals, 96. 7 innings back on the 13th against the Padres, the one he should have a win, 93. I mean, the command, the control that Mizorowski has displayed this season has been chef's kiss. Mwah. Amazing, awesome, wonderful, spectacular. Biggest improvements, or one of his biggest improvements so far this year. Ace, 100%. Dude is, if there was an all-star on this team, I think there's a couple, I think there's a few, but Jacob Mizorowski right now is an all-star on this team. Clear cut, number one. Terang, Contreras, throw those guys in there too. But Jacob Mizorowski, yes, Kyle Harrison too. Can make an argument. Definitely I can make an argument for him. But Jacob Mizorowski, boom, solidified ace. Superstar right now? Heck yeah. I mean, the guy is just, opponent's batting average against him in the month of May too, a meager 109. Whip, .52. He has just been amazing to watch this year. To see the growth, to see the dominance continue to get better, continue to grow. And for a younger kid too, kind of humble. Yeah, he gets excited. He gets pumped up on the mound. And I know some people have issues with that, but I guess I don't. He's 24. It's a kid's game. Be excited when you make a good play. Be excited when you make a big play. Afterwards, he was asked about his .23 ERA. He simply said, I mean, that's decent. So, Bowers, even saying, I'm not sure he had his best fastball, but I mean, with stuff like his, I'm not having his best stuff. Him not having his best stuff is better than most guys in the league. It's kind of like Aaron Rodgers' quote, my worst is still some people's best. But Trevor McGill also saying yesterday, quote, dude has been out there being an absolute horse for us and eating 6+ innings every time he goes out there. By the way, Bowers, sweet diving catch in that game. Playing in left field too. So, but according to MLB researcher Sarah Langs, there have been 20 instances since at least 1900 of a pitcher allowing 1 or no runs in a calendar month with at least 30 innings pitched. Mizorowski and Sanchez are the only ones to do it in the same month in the same year. And they're in the same league. National League, I know Brandon mentioned it as his cream of the crop on Friday, but National League pitchers, starting pitchers right now, unbelievable. There's some good ones here, but they're the tops, at least in the month of May, is definitely Sanchez and Mizorowski. But the continued growth, the continued raising of the bar that Mizorowski is setting right now is just unbelievable. I mean, he's setting it very, very high. It's like, man, again, you're kind of running out of things to say and words and to describe it and all that stuff. But yeah, it's awesome, completely awesome. So Brewers again finished the month of May on a high note. The only low point, dropping a series to the Dodgers, winning just 1 of 2. But you talk about sweeps and series wins, is put the Brewers in a nice position in the standings, if you're looking at that as we open up the month of June, 4.5 games up against the Cardinals. But still, everybody in the NL Central, I mean, winning record far from, I hope nobody's really kind of like saying Dunzo or anything like that. But for what it's worth, MLB.com and their latest power rankings have the Brewers as number 3, moving up 1 spot, but 2 National League teams ahead of them. That's the Braves and that's the Dodgers. But the Brewers coming in, and it says, even with all those good teams in the NL Central, the Brewers have 58% odds to win the NL Central. Here's your reminder. And people do seem to legitimately forget this, that if they win the division, They will do so for the 4th consecutive season and for the 5th time in the past 6 seasons. Probably get a little too far ahead of ourselves right now, but you look at with where they're at, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility for that to happen. The Brewers, with their 35 wins, well, I mean that's third most in just the National League, because Atlanta has 40, the Dodgers have 38, but Brewers would be 5th most, because Tampa Bay, 7th most, because Tampa Bay and New York are tied with 36 wins apiece. But in terms of a winning percentage, 625, that would put them ahead of the Yankees. But Brewers back at it tonight. No rest for the weary, even though they were down south in Houston. They're going to be back at it tonight to begin a 4-game series against the San Francisco Giants. We'll take a look at that, but before that, I do want to talk a little bit about Brandon Sproat and his time maybe kind of running out on Brandon Sproat. Not great comments from Pat Murphy surrounding Brandon Sproat. So we'll tell you what he had to say. Plus, Quinn Priester, not a great update on Quinn Priester either. So get you some updates surrounding some pitching and such. We got to take a quick break, though, but we'll be back with plenty more coming up after these few words. Summer is almost here, or summer is here, actually. So that means you're probably starting to think about maybe some family road trips, some family vacations and such, which, yeah, I woke up this morning thinking about that. Speaking of which, first of all, let me finish this. That means it's time to hit the road to something that you love. At Toyston Ford, you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. Are you looking for power? How about comfort or reliability? Hey, they've got it all backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure that you are riding in style this summer. Toyston Ford, Chippewa Falls, that's where your next journey begins. I got to come up with a list. Kid's going to be 9 in a couple weeks. We haven't really done like a big family vacation. Is that like the good age to start? I was like, I got to figure out somewhere where to go. Joe, that's really cool, because Joe on our video stream right now said that they're heading to Denver Wednesday night, going to Friday night's game out there. They're doing a stadium tour, trying to get to every stadium and watch the Crew. So that's awesome. That's fantastic. I'd love to be able to do something like that. Stadium tour? Heck yeah. That'd be so cool. So cool. I'm curious if there's anybody out there, baseball, football, I don't care, basketball, hockey, soccer, don't matter. How many stadiums have you been to? I've only been to if we're just keeping it pro, 1, 2, 4. I've only been to 4. I gotta get going here, man. I gotta knock some off that bucket list. For sure I got it. So, but, all right. Let's talk some more baseball here, shall we? Brandon Sproat, maybe times we're kind of wondering a little bit, is pressure kind of building with him and some of his starts? Been a little inconsistent, been a little down at certain points. And, well, after Saturday's game, not a great backing from Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy has said stuff like this similar to other players in the past, but Sproat didn't get past the 5th inning for the 3rd straight starts and the 5th time in his last 6 outings. Pat Murphy afterwards saying, quote, "We're not going to tolerate too many duds like this. That's for sure. If he's not going to step up, we're trying to win. We're not rebuilding." Tough love. We talked about it with Pat Murphy a lot, right? Tough love at times. Definitely has his players' backs. But he's not afraid to give a little tough love when tough love is needed. Pat Murphy went on to say he's done some really, really good stuff, so it's not like he's not going to get another chance. It's just he took a step back. I thought he took a step back today. Murphy later on also said, too, this was actually before the game Saturday, saying his stuff is really, really good. He's shown so many flashes of being really good, and that's why it's worth sticking with him, because when he gets really good, that gives us another solid starter. He said that he's really conscious about being good. That's a huge thing. He's open. He wants to listen. When Clemens was in here yesterday, Roger Clemens, he came in and made himself part of it. It was a beautiful thing. Sprode is a guy who is just getting started. I have no doubt he is going to be good. But feels like at this point in time, maybe too with guys coming back soon, like a Brandon Woodruff, or whenever Logan Henderson comes back. You got Robert Gasser. Coleman Crow obviously just made another start the other day. You got to play your best five. You got to play your five starters. They got to be your best ones, right? Especially with a team in first place with big aspirations, big goals. Got to play your best five. And right now, Brandon Sprode is not part of your best five. It's just not. Whether that's adding another starter or maybe going, since you have a unique ability with your bullpen with guys that can give you multiple innings, maybe that's an option, because Shane Drone is scheduled as a probable starter for one of these games coming up against the Giants. Possibly. It'll be interesting this week to see how it all plays out. One pitcher who won't be a part of that conversation, though, is going to be Quinn Priester, at least in the immediate future, because, things have not been going really well at AAA Nashville for Quinn Priester. So they have shifted his rehab assignment to the team's complex in Arizona. Doctors apparently continue to believe that for now he does not require surgery to relieve the symptoms of his thoracic outlet syndrome, which is a condition, reminder, that in which the nerves running down his neck and into his arm and torso are compressed. A surgery would require removal of his first rib and would end his season. It's given me flashbacks to Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns' second year, when he came in after a solid year, kind of mostly from the bullpen and such, spot starts here. But that second year, he was not good. He really struggled. And he was struggling even in minor leagues, and they shifted it to Arizona. And then we know the rest of the story about Corbin Burns. You hope that's kind of the same outlook here for Quinn Priester, because obviously the guy has some good stuff. You don't just win double-digit games by happy accident like you did last year. So hopefully it's something that they can figure out. But I don't know what's going to happen here. If it doesn't pan out in Arizona at the complex, if they don't see improvement, I do wonder if the next step is surgery. But Pat Murphy said, we just felt like he's not getting anywhere in AAA right now. He's spinning his wheels a little bit, trying to find himself. We were wishful thinking when we thought he could go to AAA and just get it back. But it has not been good. In his 6 rehab starts, he has been charged with 24 runs on 19 hits and 17 walks in 10 innings. In 2 of those outings, he couldn't make it out of the first inning. Quinn Priester did agree with it as well with the move. He said, that's better. We'll just make sure that he's progressing. Or Murphy said, we'll just make sure that he's progressing the way we want. So who's going to who do you think are going to be the top 5 pitchers for the Brewers when we maybe enter the month of July? I think Woodruff's going to be in there. Obviously, The Miz, Kyle Harrison, Logan Henderson. Then you got that 5th spot there. Could it be a bullpen type of thing? Maybe it's Robert Gasser. But other names that maybe potentially could be called up could be one of those position players. Rob Zazrinski. I can never say his last name, so I apologize. Rob Z. Okay, I don't know why I can't say his last name, so don't even try to correct me. But you guys know who I'm talking about. Rob Z. All right, he joined the big league club finally from the injured list on Sunday, and he coming back from injury. He had a lot of glowing reports about some of the youngsters down in Nashville, including Cooper Pratt and Jet Williams and Luis Lara. Rob said about Cooper Pratt, I've only seen him absolutely mashing, and he's a really good shortstop. Luis Lara, Rob said, I haven't seen him play before this year, but he's one of the toughest outs I've ever seen in AAA. He works the count, and even if you get him out, he's going to take you 6 pitches, or it's going to take a barrel to the warning track or something. And I got to admit, I'm getting worried about my guy, Sal Frelick, because the way Lara is playing, if you call him up, he plays. You don't call him up and he's going to sit on the bench. And right now, when you look at the outfield, I'm worried about my guy, Sal Frelick. Because in his last 20 ABs, he's only hitting 150 and an on-base of a 182. So far this season, 214, on-base 284, OPS of 579. If they call up Lara, I wonder if Sal's going to be the guy that's going to get some play time cut. I'm worried. And I know Garrett Mitchell, you kind of look at his numbers here too. On the season, he's 230, 350 on base, 715 OPS, though. And as of late, in his last 21 at-bats, 286 on base, 400, slugging 476. Salvatore, Sally baby. Got to pick it up, man. We got to get more production from Sal at the plate. One of my favorite dudes, one of my favorite players, my guy. But he's definitely got to get it going more at the plate. He's got to get consistent. We need that guy at the bottom of the lineup. He's too talented. Got to get him on the base paths. So I'm worried. I'm really worried. But maybe we're going to get some call-ups here, especially on that left side of the infield. As there's an interesting write-up from Adam McCulvey about this too. As it says, if the Brewers were to call up Pratt, Williams, or Lara at some point, it would almost certainly be with the intention to play them regularly. And the big league Brewers do happen to have room for improvement at those positions. Milwaukee is below average, and Baseball Reference wins above replacements at shortstop, third base, and right field. Even though shortstop Joey Ortiz and Sal Frelick, those struggling to produce at the plate, provide elite defense. I'm worried about Sal. But Jet and Cooper, I mean, if they continue to perform like they're doing down in AAA, force the team to call you up, especially when you're not getting a ton of offensive production from the left side of the infield. Got to make the move. All right, we got to take a quick break, and we'll wrap up the first hour here. Continue to send me your VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekend. What's your best? What's your worst from the weekend? Also, a little Weekend Warrior shout-outs, if you want to give some Weekend Warrior shout-outs to any youth teams or maybe some of your rec teams if you're adults. Trying to focus maybe like K through 8. No offense to the high school or colleges, but we usually talk about them all the time in local sports roundups. So want to give a little shout out to the Weekend Warriors and such. So if you want to do that, I know we had a lot of baseball tournaments this past weekend for the kiddos. Send those on over, or maybe some slow pitch softball or whatever. All right, Weekend Warrior shout outs. Text them on over as well. Coming up next hour, too, I'm going to kick off our 250. The top 250 USA sports moments. Going to do 250 of these, 10 each weekday leading up to July 3rd, the day before America's 250th birthday. So 250 sports moments. It was a lot. Obviously a lot. It's easy right away, but then you kind of get close to that 250, and you're like, you're either scrambling or you're really trying to make some tough decisions. But to kick it off, I think it's only appropriate we kind of take a look at the leagues, right? Kind of start there, but we'll do that next hour. So, all right, quick break as we start to wrap up the first hour. We'll be right back after these few words. Sunshine, road trips, summer adventures, they are calling. Is your vehicle ready at AJM Automotive in Eau Claire? They'll make sure that you hit the road with confidence, from AC checks and oil changes to brakes and full inspections. AJM Automotive has you covered before the heat kicks in. With 2 convenient Eau Claire locations, expert service is always just around the corner. Don't let car trouble slow down your summer plans. Schedule your appointment today by visiting ajmautomotiveservices.com. AJM Automotive, keeping you cool, safe, and road trip ready all summer long. And as we say a lot with AJM Automotive, they're kind of like they're do it all. I need some help with the riding lawnmower. They're helping me out. They can even take care of that. All right, small engines, mowers. Okay, it's that time of year. It's June 1st, by the way. If you participated in No Mow May, start to mow. And still, my neighbor, I don't know why. It's a new neighbor, too. Old neighbor, didn't mow. This one, doesn't mow either. So, go mow. All right. The, 3-foot tall weeds up against my fence, not cool. Go mow. But anyways, it's not Grind My Gears Tuesday yet. But still, if you need help with that lawnmower, too, AJM Automotive, they can help you out because they're helping me out for sure. No question about it. Speaking of road trips, C-Bomb says that we've got MLB 8 stadiums. Or wait, what does this say? MLB, he's been to 8 stadiums. What's waste? Worst stadium? Or was it the best away stadium? Yankee Stadium? I think you're supposed to say best away stadium, Yankee Stadium. NFL, 3 stadiums, coolest away stadium, unfortunately, U.S. Bank. Obviously, my favorite sport is the NFL. But if I had to do a stadium tour, it would be for Major League Baseball. I don't care to go anywhere but Green Bay for football. Let me watch the Brewers at every stadium, and that would be my bucket list item. That would be. I'd probably do the same thing. I'm with you, C-Bomb. I would love to go on a Major League Baseball stadium tour. Watching, like what Joe is on our video chats, that would be awesome. I would rather do that, I think, than go to a I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I would rather do baseball, Major League Baseball stadium, and then instead of NFL, if I had to choose between the two. I think I'd have more fun with that one. Just my opinion. But yeah. I gotta get to double digits though. I gotta do more of that. Speaking of baseball, tonight begins a 4-game series for the Brewers taking on the Giants. So Shane Rowan is going to get the start here for the Crew. Now, he has been very effective for the Brewers coming out of the pen. Looking at his numbers so far, he has started 1 game. He did start 1 game, and it was back on April 8th against Boston. And ironically, that was probably his worst game. He went 2 2/3, giving up 3 earned runs, did issue 4 walks in that contest. But we'll see, maybe after coming out of the pen here and giving them some length in a lot of these games, maybe a little bit more confidence. That was a long time ago, back on April 8th when he got that start. So you got to wonder, maybe today is going to be another kind of bullpen option type of day when you've got a Shane Drone, when you've got a Chad Patrick, when you've got Aaron Ashby, DL Hall, Rob, those guys that can give you some length. That sure seems to be the case here. And maybe a little bit of an advantage, too, because Giants hitters haven't gone up against him. On the flip side, you got Lando Roop going for the Giants. He is 5-5 in 11 games so far this year. He is coming off of a loss against the Diamondbacks, but he only gave up 2 earned runs and struck out 7 in 5 innings in that contest. And he got a little bit of experience with Brewers hitters going up against him. Contreras in 4 career at-bats is 3 for 4. Frelick, 5 career at-bats, 200. Terang, 6 career at-bats, 167. Bowers, actually, 4 career at-bats is hitting 500 against him. So a little bit of experience with that. But I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the first 4-game series for the Brewers this year, too. So, yeah. Get to see old friend Willie Adames coming back to Milwaukee. He just hit a home run last night against Colorado, or yesterday against Colorado. So far this year, 243, 707 OPS, 8 home runs for Willie Adames. All right, we'll talk more Brewers. We're running out of time, though. Plenty more baseball talk to get to in the next couple hours from now. Send me your VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekend. I think we had Pete a little bit earlier saying best UW Milwaukee baseball. Yep, hopefully they can beat Auburn again tonight to stay alive in a do-or-die game. Worst, Chet Holmgren in Game 7. Yeah, a lot of talk about Chet Holmgren right now after that series against the Spurs. So we'll get I got a couple more texts to get to here, but C-Bomb says you could rank the stadiums as well as their concessions. I want to do like a tailgate tour. Tailgate parties, tailgates, tours. Nobody will top Miller Park. It will never be AmFam Field for me. I will say Cincinnati was pretty cool.